Teen Talk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 5, season 1. We're getting in it. We're about to put this work in. I got somebody super special for y'all. I saw him on Instagram and I was like looking at his videos. I'm like, this man is majestic. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Dreamz. Joe Dreamz, introduce yourself to the people, man.
Hey, what's up? My name is Joe Dreamz, and I believe in using the power of music and film and entertainment to inspire people to live their dreams, because most people give up on their dreams, and I want someone to hear one of my songs when they're discouraged or when they feel like they want to quit and feel like they can keep on going.
Bro, I love that. I think when I watch your videos and you interact with people, I get that energy. It's hard to portray energy through video, you know what I'm saying? Some people cultivate it, some people don't. Some people need other people to help, but it seems like you just do it naturally to get people's attention and to ultimately help people and help people grow. And that's what I do with my business, is I post up a lot of content on helping people change their mindsets on things. So, like, from the beginning, man, like, where you from?
I'm from Slam Diego, California.
I ain't never heard nobody call it Slam Diego.
The reason why I call it Slam Diego is because I'm a huge Padre fan, and I actually made the theme song. And the Padres, you know, in baseball, there's a grand slam.
Yeah.
When people run across the bases, so they call it Slam Diego, and so that's why I ended up making the song. So every time I should just say I'm from Slam Diego.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So okay, San Diego. So your whole life, how old are you?
27.
So 27 years. Okay, San Diego, man, that's different. I've yet to meet, like, it's hard to meet Cali people. Everybody's military is all a big melting pot, a mixture of people. Okay, so walk me from your journey from being born in San Diego to where you are now. What put you? How did you become who you are today?
Okay, well, there's a lot. So I grew up in a family of 4, and with my mom, dad, and my little big brother, because he's like 6'10". You know, he went and played D1 basketball and everything like that. So my mom's a real estate agent, my dad's a psychologist. So I have the entrepreneur side of me from my mom, and then I really like to study and read and everything like that.
You said books, right? What kind of books are you reading?
Oh, so I really love self-help books, like books that help you become the best version of yourself. Because let's say you are 80 years old now,
okay,
and you've mastered film.
Okay.
Like you've gotten your 50,000 hours of on-camera time, and you know so many tricks and you like, you know what? Before I die, I'm gonna write a book like 100 pages. I'm gonna make it simple. And then somebody who's like 18 years old, who's just thinking about getting in film, run across your book, and they read that thing in a couple weeks.
Game changer.
You know, and so I like to think of who's successful, who has what I want, who has the type of lifestyle that I would like to emulate. And very fortunately, some of those people decided to pass their knowledge down through books or videos, and I just love to binge those.
Yeah.
Like all the time when I'm driving, I listen to it more than I listen to music. It's audiobooks, and I geek out on that stuff.
I got you. I do the same thing, and just like this, what you just said is what I do. I look at it like that. Like you read a book about Michael Jordan, or you read a book about Kobe, and they're telling their story, and they're telling how they got where they are, and then some of those things kind of click things in your head, like click. Oh, that's what I need to do. This is the path I need to take. I'm right now studying Steph Curry because I want to get my jumper right, you know?
Yeah.
So like I'm reading, I'm doing a master class for that. But I think there's huge value in books. So I call it mentorship, right?
Yeah.
People think mentorship is people. Bro, mentorship is books, man. Like get you a book on whatever you're trying to do in life, whether it's make t-shirts or do real estate, build a business. And in that book, just like you said, is broke down in plain language of what you're trying to accomplish. And maybe not every book is going to resonate with you. Don't give up. Some people they'll read a book and like, all right, that's not my cup of tea. Or the person that's doing an audiobook has a horrible voice. So you're like, I don't like that. But don't let that be your showstopper. Go get the book for that. So right now, let's say, what's your top 3 books or podcasts or audiobooks that you say right now are resonating and with you, and why? So give me the first one.
So start with Why.
Ooh.
Start with Why by Simon Sinek.
So tell me about
that. That is a must read. So have you ever talked to somebody and, okay, let me just tell you a story to be more interesting this way.
Okay.
So I was at South by Southwest, which is a music conference, for those of you who don't know, in Austin, Texas. and there was this artist industry mixer, and it was a panel, and it was like a panel, and so all of us are in a room, and then they said everyone get in a circle.
Okay.
And they said they would go around the room and they say, tell us your name and what you do. Someone say, my name is Mary, I work for so-and-so records, we have 1,000 artists on our roster or something like that. Hi, my name is so-and-so, I have a distribution company for blah, 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 blah. Okay. And so as everyone's just saying their name and what they do, what's going through most people's minds is probably, okay, whatever, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna be nice and polite, but
that's not a cup of tea.
We're not gonna remember, we're not, like who cares, right? And the reason why is because we don't have the context of why they're doing what they're doing.
Okay.
And so when it came around to my turn, I said something similar to what I said at the beginning. I said, hey, my name is Joe Dreamz, and I believe this because and why I believe. And when you say like that, it speaks to a different part of the brain, literally, and it helps put what you're doing in context. So start with why, of why you're doing what you're doing. Like, imagine if you have a team and you in your head know why y'all need to do something, so you tell your team to go do something, and all they see is like some command on their phone, and then what are they thinking? What's their first thought? Why?
Yeah.
Right? So if you start with, okay, in order for us to double our growth, or in order for us to get where we want to get to, let's do these things, right? And then it makes sense.
Gotcha.
Right? And so when I said that, then after everyone broke, somebody came up to me and be like, hey, man, like, what you said really resonated with me because I'm trying to do something similar. So when you communicate what you believe, then you become like a magnet for other people who believe what you believe.
Exact things.
And then when you around people who believe what you believe, there's an element of trust. Like say if you went to church and you know that everyone here is like, we're all on the same thing. So I feel like I can leave my kids here, or I feel like I can, trust or give to this when I'm around people who believe what I believe and share the same values. And so communicating that. So let's start with why and how to stick to it even after you become successful, and so you don't just focus on the money and you stay connected to that original purpose. Okay. So there's that book. Another book that's great is Awaken the Giant Within, and by Tony Robbins. And that book really taught me how to think. It's like your brain is like a computer, and we're born, and then we just like, see all these keys, and we're just pushing Control, Alt, Delete, and what does this do, and what does this do, and he teaches you really how to like use your brain and awaken the giant within. Of like questions are the answer. Like questions. There's a whole chapter on questions. There's a chapter on values. There's a chapter on beliefs. There's a chapter on something called TV, transformational vocabulary. Which is a whole thing, but I can geek on this forever. But
so yes, I love that. I love that because ultimately, like, we're born, right, and then we're raised by our parents, and then we go to school with our friends, and all these different things. And we have our teachers that guide us, and every teacher is different. They have their own aspect of life, and they teach you that, right? But as you're going through these things, that's how you're figuring out how life works. That's how you're computing, because you don't have anything else besides what they're telling you, right? But I think some people get stuck with that knowledge and they try to live their whole life with that. You have to be willing to grow your mindset on how things really work and be willing to be flipped upside down, because there's been a couple times like, oh, that's why I worry. It's negative goal setting. Oh, like just things that I never thought about. It shook me, and I was like, so then I started reading more books like what you're saying, and y'all need to check. I'm about to write these books down right after we finish this podcast, because I always wonder, like, I'm just kind of figuring this out, and I'm kind of good at that because I have those interpersonal skills, so I'm able to meet a bunch of people, but not everybody has that ability to reach out to people and then just have regular conversations with just random people. Like they don't have that. So it's cool to have those books and to be able to do that. So I think that's super powerful. All right, so what's the last one?
And then the last book. Man, there's so many good ones.
You ever heard the 4 Agreements?
I've heard of that one before.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not taking things personally. That one's helpful.
Yeah.
I want to say The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene.
Okay, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, The Laws of Human Nature, of figuring out why we do what we do as people, and it's just really interesting about human nature. If that question interests you, like, why are people doing what they're doing, then that's the book for you. It's 18 hours long, the audiobook.
I've
read it like 7 times in my whole life. because I love that stuff.
Yeah, and it's different.
I was driving for Lyft, and so I would be obsessed. I'd be listening to it in between rides, and I would even practice on the people that are in my back seat,
Oh, wow.
because I would learn something, and then I pick somebody up. And then I would go ask them or see how it goes.
Same way, bro.
Right? Yes.
Same way.
And then I'll get to see the real life results.
I like that. I like that book because I mean I've never read this book, but I like what you're saying because as you're going through life, right, you're just flowing, and life's a roller coaster, right? You go up and you have your downs, and there's times and points in life where you like it's just like a brick wall, bow, it hits you, and you shook, and you're like, well, what do I do from here? Like, what happens next? I'm so lost right now. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I just lost a family member. Everything's, how do I take that next step? And reading a book like that could probably put you back on that path, or at least
really
understand
does.
where you need to be. That's dope, bro.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why I love reading so much that I have a theme for every month. Because one of the ways we want to spread the cause is have a theme park someday with a vision.
Mm-hmm.
And so every month we have a theme. And so the theme of this month is Spring Forward. And so I pick a new book
Okay.
for each theme of the month, and I challenge my team to read it. I know they're not right now, but
Yeah.
but we'll get them along for the ride. But I believe that after school happens, we stop wanting to learn.
Yeah.
And
honestly, we ain't learned nothing.
yes, depending on
We
what
didn't
school you
learn
went to, and
well,
all
but
that,
they still don't guide your soul, your the part that's important. Like, yeah, they teach you mathematics and they teach you reading and they teach you money, but they don't make you understand like the real value, which is you and the value you bring to the world. And that's how you get paid. That's why so many people, when they find their value, they become millionaires and they're billionaires. But until you find that value, you go and you work these non-value jobs. And I mean, I've done plenty of non-value jobs, but what I mean by that is when you find your passion and what you're really good at, it changed the whole aspect of your life. You enjoy it. When the hard times are hard, it's not as bad as if you were doing something you didn't enjoy. And people just pay you money to do what you love. People that play basketball, football, basketball, like you rapping and you things you truly enjoy, they pay you more because you're just so skilled in it. How can I deny you? But when you're working your 9 to 5, it's like, hey, here's the salary, and I'm gonna work you 10 times harder because I already paid you. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So yeah, I think that's super valuable. So you said the cause. So what do you tell? What's this cause? I like everything you say. Like it's like purpose driven, like hidden. So what's this cause you talking about? Talk about the cause.
Live your dreams. Yeah,
Okay.
Live your dreams. Yeah,
All right,
that's the cause.
So tell me about Live Your Dreams.
So the Live Your Dreams mission statement is to inspire people to live their dreams through entertainment and just pretty much as many ways as possible.
Okay.
Because it's just like with Christianity, like, you have Christian books, you have Christian music, you have Christian food, you have Christian everything.
Yeah.
Because there's always trying to find a way to spread the cause. And so I have a similar vision for Live Your Dreams. And our vision is a world where everyone is living their dreams.
Okay.
Like everybody. Like imagine what that would look like. I think there would be a lot less division because how I like to refer to people, because I know in our culture it's popular to refer ourselves to as like, hey, what's up, man? You know?
Yeah.
But I like to say my dreamer because identity is so powerful and it's so. And I see everyone through that lens because no matter if I'm talking to a 3-year-old girl or a 93-year-old woman, like, what's up, my dreamer?
Yeah.
And by seeing through everyone through a lens of, hey, this person has a purpose, this person is trying to get to the next level in their life, and identifying people as that, I believe we'd have a lot more unity in the world if everyone was living their dreams. And I think there'd be so much less like crime. Because everyone has a purpose. Because why do a lot of people gravitate towards that? Because that's a missing link.
Exactly.
If you study like why people become terrorists in other countries.
Oh man.
But when they have options, or when they figure out what it is they're calling, then a lot of that stuff becomes less attractive.
I want you to hold that. You got that? Mm-hmm. So in America right now, we have a huge issue with people shooting up schools, doing just off the wall stuff with guns and just whatever they can get their hands on, right? And I see on the news all day, gun control, gun control, gun control. the killer or the bad guy doesn't care about that. He's breaking the law. So the last thing in his mind is, did I get this gun legally? Or it's easier for him to get to. If he wants to get it, he's gonna get it. They're gonna get it to him, right? I think in the military, when I was in recruiting duty, they taught us something really, really powerful. And you probably heard this before: the need behind the need. So the original need is we need to stop people from shooting up the schools, right? That's cool. Up and down, face value, we need to stop that or doing whatever they do. But what's the need behind the need? Why are they doing it? Why is it happening initially? Why are these people so lost that they feel like they could take, like, the value of human life is in, like, you can't put a price on that. But to them, it's not. Why? Why is this happening? And then maybe there's something even deeper than that. So asking this person, why did you make that decision? And a lot of behind those shootings is mental health.
Yeah.
Them being lost, them not knowing what they want to do in life, and then people beating them down for that instead of helping them find that. So, like, hearing what you're saying, that what's up, my dreamer, and that concept is
With
powerful.
the A, not the ER.
Yeah, I got you. Oh, dreamer?
No, not with the ER, with the A.
What up, dreamer? That's game changing, bro. Like, that's game changing, because that's what the world needs, especially the United States. But that's what the world needs, and more now than ever. Because believe it or not, the world is changing right now. At this exact moment, something came up and popped up, and everybody's paying attention to it, but they're only looking at its face value. What am I talking about? Can you guess
Artificial
what?
intelligence.
Boom, bro. Artificial intelligence is gonna change the game. Why though? Because those jobs that are people that are working, where it's just stack some boxes. Here's your coffee that you ordered, sir. It's gonna be a robot.
Yeah, and that's why I'm really excited, because Live Your Dreams is the cause of the future.
It really is.
And we're positioning ourselves in a good spot for when the collective conscious will catch up to it. If that makes sense. I mean, obviously, the message of living your dreams is as old as time.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. It's not a new idea.
I think
it's just the way I'm packaging it.
I think the unlock for that, right, is to get them to believe in it, right? Yeah. And the believing aspect is your why, right? So people like example of that, and I think I had the similar book, was Martin Luther King. He always spoke about his why and his dream. I have a dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was powerful because people can get behind that. And then the stuff he was saying, it connected with people.
Yeah, not just black people. It connected with everybody.
Everybody, because that's important. Everybody has to be on board. It can't be onesie, two. Everybody got to be. It got to resonate in everybody's soul that what he's saying is something like, I don't believe in that, but I see you. I see you. I see what you're doing there. I think that's what the world needs. We need another Martin Luther to step up there and do that again, because people are really lost, and it's only going to get worse. The numbers are going up because your job that you right now, I invested in a company, by the way. It's called Flippy. You ever heard of that?
Flippy, tell me, educate me.
Okay, so Flippy, and it's called Flippy 2 now. So let's say five guys, right? There's people back there flipping the burgers.
Yes.
Flippy flips the burger for you. It cooks the fries for you. There's nobody back there doing this stuff. Somebody's watching the machine do its thing, but it's doing that. And this company's been booming, right? It's called Flippy.
Yeah.
And at the end of all this,
there's a lot of restaurants are not profitable, and by doing this could get them in the black.
No more having to pay people. Somebody get hurt at work.
Insurance.
Somebody showing up late.
Character.
Just
complaints
out the window.
More
the
efficiency.
Robot. Good morning, sir. The same energy over and over again with a smile, right?
Yeah.
That's coming, and more now than ever with ChatGPT moving around where it can think.
Yeah, I've used that earlier today. I've been using that today.
Bro, hey, if y'all sleeping, we gonna talk about it more. But if y'all sleeping on ChatGPT, if you don't even know what it is, and you're like, this has nothing to do with me, I don't care about ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Just Google it. Log in there real quick and ask it to write you a resume. That's it. I want all of y'all, whether you're 12 years old, I want to write a resume to join the NBA. Because you can do that. Write a resume to join the NBA and watch.
It'll blow your mind.
Watch what happens. And now I want you to think about the possibilities with that.
Yes.
All right. So, man, this is beautiful, man. Like, this is exactly. I saw you and I was like, this is the energy. Like, we're like the same people, but I think you're further along in your journey on how you want. You're already executing certain aspects of it, and I think that's dope, man. So you said your team. How many people on your team?
Well, I mean, there's different parts of a team, but I have a street team right now. Okay. I have my hype man. I have someone else who helps out with like the promo part of it.
Okay.
And right now I'm in the process of recruiting some video people, but I'm always open to whoever wants to come get it, you know? And yeah, I'm looking to build more.
Okay.
I'm definitely looking to add a lot more people on the roster.
Okay.
And so that's why that book is Start With Why is so important, because I could easily find a videographer, but I'm not looking for a videographer. I'm looking for someone who believes in using their passion to inspire people to live their dreams, and they just happen to spread that cause through videography, if that makes sense.
I like that.
Yeah. So that's who I'm looking for, is a believer, just like at church.
Yeah.
Everyone who works at a church is a Christian. They're not gonna hire somebody who's an atheist, even if they can shoot video.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
The Navy does do that, right? They hire it. So we have our chaplain, right? And they have people that they call them RPs. You can look. It's like it's a job.
Contractors,
but
right?
He's a rate, like it's a job in the Navy. But he just sets up events, right? But you just imagine him at those events where he's like, I'm not really into this stuff. So that's powerful what you're saying. You want somebody, because that's how your team gets better. That's how you grow.
Yes.
We have, like, okay, example, Walmart, right? Walmart could be like, hey, you want to work here? You got any felonies? Okay, come on. How much money are you making? How much opportunity are you getting? But I hire you into my business, and I'm like, we're going to the stratosphere. Do you believe in this? Do you believe in what I believe in? And you say yes. Now, I know if I ask you a question and I bounce it off you, we're speaking the same language. You're going to help me get me to where I want to be. And we're on the same passion.
Without even having to say anything.
We're on the same passion link. So that is super powerful, especially in a small business. And even when you get to big business, people forget it. When you get to big business, it's important too.
Yes.
Because if you got a bunch of people that hate working there, and I'll tell you one company that I think has figured this out more than any company. And just
Tesla?
Apple. Tesla, yeah. But Apple, bro,
Yeah,
35
Apple,
years at the top. They created
They believe in challenging the status quo.
The first personal computer, the first mouse, the iPhone, AirPods,
That's
Apple
funny.
Watch.
A huge part of Start With Why is about Apple.
Because they figured it out, bro. And everybody that's in that building, because I know they work crazy hours. Ain't no way you tell me they working like, all right, I'm here, I'm going. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they figured that out. And that's why when those products come out, they're like, every time. And you pay it because you pick up the device, and you know how I said through your videos I felt your emotion? When you pick up the device, you just feel it. What is all this iPhone? You feel it. You feel the passion they put in that device, and everybody played their aspect. And not one person that made the screen also didn't know, like, it wasn't a part of the speakers that are on this thing. It all presents this magical feeling in it. And that's that believing.
And it's not just the computer, because there's so many other computer companies that can make a better product than Apple. But we believe what Apple believes in, and so we trust them. And what it also allows Apple to do is, since they believe what they believe, you could spread that belief in multiple industries and still be consistent, right? So Apple can make a car and it makes sense. Apple can make goggles and it makes sense. Or a watch, or a phone, or a music player, whatever. And it feels genuine and authentic. But if, let's say, Rolex wanted to make a car,
it's gonna.
What?
Yeah. So,
you know, so even though Apple's making watches too, you know, because Rolex has a different brand belief system.
They built it differently. I like that. So hold on to that. All right, guys, we're gonna switch to a commercial. It's gonna be some rapping. I'm gonna cut myself out a lot. It's gonna be a lot of him, not a lot of me, but we're gonna do some rapping and we're gonna cut to a commercial break. All right, cutting to the break. Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we about to do this freestyle real quick. I got Joe Dreamz, and back in the day I used to be called S.E. You know what I'm saying? I rap, but it's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? That was about like 15 years ago. So we're gonna do a little freestyle. He's the real rapper. I'm just here as like a hype man, and I might drop some lyrics. So here we go.
Yes. Okay, look, about to start it off. Hit it out the park, man, like I'm playing golf. Apple or Microsoft.
Hey, I come through like a boss. Toss it up, aiming where I gotta get it. I made it get it, and I had to hit it. I put it like a fresh fitted. And if I'm winning, but let my team win it, I'm still in it. This is only beginning, I chase my dreams like, look, I'm aiming for the sky. It's either do or die, but I swear I'll never tell you a lie.
Perfect.
Hey,
Damn. Never tell a lie. Gotta tell the truth with every line. Live your dreams and you'll be fine.
Yo.
Just like this light in my face when it shines.
hey, that was dope. That was dope. I appreciate you coming through, bro. This was dope. The energy was crazy. I hope y'all enjoy this one. He dropped some heat in this video. So we're gonna keep it up. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing. I'm gonna have him definitely want to come back for some more freestyles, some raps, and he just started something. So every rapper or every singer that comes on here, we gotta do this.
Yes.
All right, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Alrighty.
Ladies and gentlemen, we back at it again. We got Joe Dreamz here. We were just talking about him getting his your face everywhere, right? And you're good at that. Like I'm relentless. So I was working on a book. You know how you always work on a book? You have a book. This book you write and then this book you're reading, right? The book is talking about, it's called Your Gifts. I think one of your gifts is unrelentless effort. Like no matter what, you keep pushing. And when I watch your videos, it's like you pushing your content, you're getting out there, you're building awareness, you're talking to people, you're building that energy. Most people don't want to put that work in. So they expect it to be handed. I made one hit song. Bro, you can make a Drake song right now. But if you don't put that work in,
It's not gonna go nowhere.
it don't matter. Yeah. So I think you consistently put that work in, and that's how I found you. And you getting attention. So talk more about it. You just telling a story about your dad.
Oh, yeah. So I live with my family, and my dad was scrolling through his Microsoft feed or whatever. So I was downstairs talking to my mom about something, and as I was in the middle of a conversation with my mom, he's like, "Joseph, come upstairs." And I was like, one second, no, come in quick. And I was like, "Sorry, Mom, I'm got a place to go." And so I go upstairs, and then my dad he pulls up his laptop and he shows me, and then one of my videos is on his feed. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, and that comes from you just pushing content over and back to back and possible. Because
that video actually is, so the funny thing was that my camera was dead. Right, and so I popped up outside Rolling Loud, and the reason why I was at Rolling Loud is because look at all these hip hop fans that are here, and let me be the last thing they hear to give them something positive on the way out. And I'm like, okay, so how do I reach everybody? So the security was being like really that day.
I think I saw that video.
Yeah, and outside of SoFi Stadium too, and they said, "Oh, excuse me, sir, this is private property. So if you want to do practice your free speech, then you got to do that over there." And so I'm looking around, and I see this metal box. I think it's one of those electricity boxes. I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be my stage." And so I stand on top of that thing, and so people could see me as they're coming out of the festival, and I'm performing my song, and then the next thing I know, as I see this girl right here, and she's like reaching her arms out, and so I'm like, oh yeah, she wants to dance then, right? And so I start spinning her around, and then I'm like, hey, come up here, and then some guys like help her up there, and then we start dancing, and then like she turns around, and then I'm like, all right, we start making out, and
I didn't see that part.
Yeah, it's at the very end of the video.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the video, and then she gets down, and then I keep on doing my thing. I'm like, man, I wish I had got that moment, man. Like I know I could have. This could have got some numbers if I got that video. And then like a week later, I wake up in the morning, and then I got a couple DMs like, man, you going viral right now. I say, nah, send me the link. What do you mean? And then I click on it, and somebody grabbed that whole moment.
Oh.
And I was like, yes!
Perfect.
Yes! And it was already going viral. So I just like went and screen recorded. I didn't even have to do it. So I just like screen recorded and then put my sound in there and then posted it, and then it went viral on my page. And then other pages started posting it. This one Instagram page that has like over 4 million followers posted it without me even like reaching out, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is so awesome. Because when I went to Rolling Loud, it took me 2 or 3 hours. When I went there, the way my setup was, it made it very inconvenient for people to donate, and so I didn't make like no money that night. You know what I mean? So I drove all the way out there, and I'm like, damn, man, I didn't get that moment. So I was like, ugh, but then that moment came Later, when someone got the video, I'm like, all right, it was worth it.
Man, clutch, man. And that's that unrelentless effort, man. You were out there working in your passion.
Yes.
And I think somebody said necessarily don't work for money, work for your passion, because your passion will pay you more. And I was like, what does that mean? And I was like, so that's why I do King Talk. I don't get paid anything to do this. Like one guy was like, do I have to pay you? It's like, nah, bro. This is even exchange. We working together. We creating content for both of us.
Yeah.
And people see it. It gets people's attention. And that's why that moment happened, because you just keep pushing, keep doing what you're doing, man. I think, bro, that song, I bet you know my name. It's catchy. It's catchy. So I think your quality is there, bro. So quality, just keep quantity. Keep pushing, but that's how you build it, man. And I think you're working towards that. A lot of people don't think about that. They think it's as simple as I'm gonna get one hot song that sound like Jay-Z. It's gonna boom and it's gonna be dope and everybody. No, you got to get in front of these people. And back in the day, who did you need to do that with? You need the industry. You need
the record
Sony.
label,
You need the Universal Record. You don't need that no more. We got social media. Guess what? They calling us like, hey man, can you hang out with my artist real quick? Because now you're the influencer. Because they used to be the record companies were the influencers. Now we're the influencers. We control the aspect because we build it from scratch ourselves. So they now capitalize on that. They'll see artists, okay, he's big enough, sign this record deal. You know what I'm saying? They let you do the work, and then they take you in, they help put you in the stratosphere. But you can do that yourself. Are you familiar with also the artist Lil Russell?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, so huge dude. And I'm watching him, and he was about to sign a deal with Jay-Z, and how he switched back to going back independent. So that's how I look at it, man. We got the cards now, man. We control every aspect of how this game is played, and this is the perfect time to do it.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk more about. Let's say I always I didn't ask this question to other people, but it's something I'm gonna start doing. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
So one of the things that we're working on now is, like we were talking about AI, is like I mentioned earlier, is one of the greatest ways I believe we could really spread the cause is through theme parks. And for the same reason why I like to make music that incorporates a lot of things I'm reading in those books, because not many people will read those books, but they will listen to an album and songs. So if I could incorporate some of the principles that I'm learning in all these self-help books and put this in the music, it's going to be some powerful stuff. And so I realized that too, like when it comes to seminars and these personal development speeches and all that, like, yeah, that's cool, but like none of my friends are trying to go to that, but they will go to the theme park. So how can we give them the inspiration they need to live their dreams at a theme park? And so that's the concept for the Live Your Dreams theme parks. And so one of the first steps of building that is in the metaverse. Right? And so right now I actually been applying for grants to hire a 3D world designer. And that person is going to help take all the sketches that I've been putting together for the theme park of the different attractions and how they're gonna really help people, and turn that into something that looks like this room. Right? But in a 3D version, so we can get people to invest. And when I'm recruiting somebody on the team, be like, yo, here's where we're going. Right? And if you work for us right now, you might not get paid and all that stuff right now, but look, we're going here, and once we get here, you're gonna get a lot more than you would have made working for any of these other companies or whatever. So that's what we're working on right now, and so I see it being in the metaverse and thriving by then. Or maybe even sooner than then. That'd be great to have the first actual physical location of the theme park within the next 5 to 10 years. That would be great. Just imagine, like, you could go, because I want to provide also, and another reason why I want to do theme parks is because once I start getting when I was in high school, all I cared about was on the weekends, like, where's the next party at? And nowadays,
I wouldn't party.
And one of the reasons why I street perform in downtown is because I know somebody goes there to escape, or they're not thinking about their dream. Matter of fact, this guy who's in the military, when I was performing, and he said that, I make music too, or I want to be a rapper and everything like that. And he said, but I just haven't had the time to do my thing. I said, when did you get here today? He said, I've been here for about a couple hours, and you're probably going to be here for a couple more hours. So you couldn't have recorded a song during this time? And it hit him that this time that he's out here in the club
What was his
is
next
literally
words?
the time.
Was he in shock?
Yes, and I said, if it wasn't for this, and I was pointing my speaker, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for my music, I just literally would not be here.
Yeah.
Right, and so, but I want to provide a fun alternative for besides just the club for nightlife.
Yeah.
Right, and have that incorporate in the theme park as well for the nightlife part, and be more family friendly during the day, and then at nighttime have things that would appeal to the younger generation. So the only option isn't, okay, we're gonna go to downtown or PB. Like let's go to the Live Joe Dreams theme park, and then you can go there, have fun, and be inspired and motivated to go live your dream when you go back to work the next day at the same time. So that's the vision that I have for what this will be.
I like that. I like that you talk to that kid because he's like, I ain't think about that. So
Yeah.
before I joined the Navy, right? This sounds, everybody gonna say it sounds corny. That sounds stupid. But I was like, I was working on being a rapper. Like I was legitly knee deep. Yes, I was knee deep in trying to do it. I was recording music. I was doing all this stuff, and I had no money. Like working at McDonald's, like, it's not working. My dad's like, join the Navy. So I was like, Dad, I ain't doing that. And I finished high school. All right, cool. I guess I'm gonna join the military. And bro, I spent like 10 grand in equipment, mics, the
MIDI.
decks. I bought I don't know, all the different equipment that you need to make it happen. Right? F Studios, I went and bought it straight out. I had the sound, the app to control the sound and stuff, and I did everything. And I'm like, I recorded. I mean, I'm recording. I'm doing music. I'm making at least 10 beats a day. I'm meeting with my friends. We went out to sea. Guess what I was doing? In between my off time, we were down in the barber shop making beats, rapping, freestyling.
Because that's where all the people who enjoy that kind of stuff would be hanging out.
Yeah, we're down in the barber shop just doing this work. And it was crazy. We had like 5 people in a little bitty spot. We're all just in there just recording.
Yeah, it was lit.
The energy was crazy. And I worked in the craft. And that's what some people miss that part where they say, I just need time. But then they're not really accounting for their time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. Like right now, like I haven't played. Like I have a video game that I love to death, like Call of Duty Mobile. Like that's my thing, right? You ever play Call of Duty Mobile?
I've heard of it.
Yes, it's a cool game, right? But I stopped playing it because I'm like, I got stuff I need to do, and it's not just
getting me towards my dreams.
Soon, this is how bad it got. I would pick up my game remote, like I'm gonna play some games. I would get anxiety.
Yeah.
Because of these books I'm reading, I would get anxiety because like, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? Do you have time? Do you have time to waste on a video game? Do you have time to play this game right now? Or do you need to go figure out the shirt design? Or do you need to go figure out what's the next video? Do you need to figure out how you're going to make this website? And I was like, I'm going to go knock out a couple of those things. I'm going to come back and play for a little bit. And I'm going to go back and do that. And I started kind of accounting for my time. And that's how I got more into kind of how you shifted his mindset. He realized that how much time he wasted just doing nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Versus, he'll work that 9 to 5 most of his day, his week, but did not think about himself on what he really loves to do. He never goes and does it.
And the funny thing is that a guy like him goes to the club probably to go find some girls.
Yeah.
But you know what? I have probably at least a dozen or more girls trying to hit on me while I'm performing.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you chase your dreams, you put out a different energy, you put out a different vibe, and that's the vibe that God designed women to be attracted to. And so it's actually more productive if you're trying to get girls, to actually just chase your dreams and just don't even worry about it, to be honest. And just do the things you love doing, go to the places you love doing. And then that type of woman that you actually like, just like you, why did you host your freestyles in the barbershop? Because in the barbershop, usually the culture is like, we like this kind of stuff. You didn't do it in the admiral's quarters. Or whatever.
Right? Like, what are you doing here? Get him out.
Right? And so since you're in that place of doing something you love in that space, you're probably more likely to meet someone who you're compatible with at the barbershop, if we're using the military as an analogy, ship as the analogy, right? And so it's a win-win to just go chase your dreams,
bro. Chase your dreams.
Just chase your dreams. Because especially if you're going out there, you're trying to chase women, you put out a different energy, you put out that creepy vibe.
Yeah.
And then that's when her girlfriend comes and be like, trying to come save her,
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my girlfriend,
Nah, you lost that. You might as well count that a loss. You don't need no wingman. You need help. Get him out of here.
Yeah. So I think it's really important, especially for us men to, have a mission in life and have something that we serve and that's bigger than ourselves. And a lot of that has been removed from society ever since, like, because Christianity was that thing.
Yeah.
At one point, and then now it's like, for better or for worse, whatever. I feel like we gotta get back to a place where everyone has some type of calling. It might not be live your dreams for you, but it might be, food insecurity, or for people who need service and whatever, the elderly.
Yeah.
Right. Just having some type of mission and cause. I think that gives you clarity on your whole life, because you know exactly what to do. You know where to go. You know what to eat.
Right.
You know how to spend your time. You know who to spend it with. You know what to wear. It answers all of those questions when you have a mission, and makes life easy and stress free. Because I could walk up to a library with 100,000 books. I know exactly which ones to read, and which topics to look for.
Because you've been digging in it. So I'll throw this quote out there and tell me what you think. Goals are the keys to your success. Goals are the keys to your success. You can't drive without them.
I say the most important thing is why. Why?
Okay.
Because you can have a goal, an ambitious goal, but if you don't have a strong reason why you're going
to it
for it, then when you are inevitably going on the dip on that roller coaster, then you'd be like, I want to go on another ride. Let me just hop on another ride.
I like that. So in a sense, I think one of the things I said was something about your GPS. So like, okay, and everybody like, I seen this video, whatever, world. So let's say in a car back in the day, what did we use to get around? Not for phones. We had the Garmin GPS. You remember that?
Oh yes.
We had the Garmin GPS, the big old huge screen. Mm-hmm. All it did was just pull GPS stuff, and you'd be like, I want to go to California, and let's say right now you want to go to California. You want to go to 1257 Northwest East Street. How would you get there from here right now? Because you're probably never there. Yeah. How would you get there?
I see. I get your point of having the address. You need to have your address, and then you know which roads not to take. And then even if you get off track, you can reroute and get closer to your destination. But if you don't have the destination, then there's a McDonald's sign on the freeway. Oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks good. And then you run out of gas, and you're like, how did I get here?
And what you're talking about, your why, is that one of those main processes. I like that. It keeps you. Because your why can change. Mm-hmm. So
what you do could change, but your why should never change, especially if you have a company of why you'll do what you do.
No.
Like Apple's why has been the same ever since Steve Jobs.
Well, let's say right now you got a girlfriend.
Music, yeah.
Okay.
I'm married to
let's say you had a girlfriend, right? Uh-huh. And you've been with this girl for 2 years, and she got pregnant. Would your why change at all?
No, my why is still to live in a world where everyone's living their dreams. And I would just find a way to spread that with my family and make sure my family is a part of that vision.
Gotcha.
Which they are eventually. Another reason why I have a theme park is so when I have children, that's like an environment that they would want to go to, and then that would facilitate them being the best versions of themselves a lot. Because an environment like downtown, there's a lot of danger, threats, overdoses, and there's all kind of stuff that happens in that type of environment. And parents don't want their kids over there, but it's fun and it's cool, right? Yeah. So if we can give them another environment
to be in,
so that's I have my family. My future family is a part of the vision.
Yeah, I was mentioning that because like people, maybe you have multiple, like. For me, it's my family is part of my why. Like why is to help people and grow others, but also I got this kid here that if anything happened to her, like I got to make sure she's good. You know what I'm saying? My kids are good. So that's why I was asking, like, would you willing to say that you have more than just one why? Like is it just Joe Dreamz, or would you be my why is not my? Even if you say you don't even stay with the girl, but my child, make sure they're good to go, because there's some people that are. So example. People that join the military and they'll be away from their family for 20 years. Like the whole 20 years. Honey, I know you're in Cali, but I'm over here in Italy for the next 5 years. And then they'll go somewhere else, and they go somewhere else. And they forget about their family. They're still chasing their why. They want to be in the military. They want to serve their country. They want to protect, like, you know what I'm saying, that part. And it's overall helps everybody. It helps their family, but they forgot about their family. You see how that can play a huge part. So I was wondering, like, if you had that kind of situation, because a lot of people do say like having a child changes their whole perspective on life. Instantaneous. You now have a
Yeah.
mouth to feed. You got a mini you walking around that can't fend for itself. So my why is all now part of. Is she good? You good? You ate today? Like, you got to get a daycare. Like your whole mindset changes. So I was just like, maybe the option of having more than one why can be in there. But see, like for me, I have 2 kids, so I can see that. But for you, it's like I've never experienced something as heavy as a child. Child probably one of the heavier things that could put a huge shift in your life. Like that can make you go get a 9 to 5. Like I wasn't working 9 to 5, but now. Like I gotta go get a 9 to 5 just to survive because now I don't qualify for government assistance or something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I can see how having a child. This is actually one reason why people might give up on their dreams is for a child, right?
Yeah, they
But
do.
but what I challenge somebody to do or to think about at least is, what kind of example do you want to set for your child?
True.
As somebody who gave up, or somebody who through thick and thin found a way.
Push through.
Because we have countless examples of some of the most successful people who have kids. Come on.
That's
You
true.
gonna tell me that it's not possible to live your dreams?
Yeah,
You got kids.
and I
Look
agree
at all
with
the.
that. I agree with that. Like
Yeah.
Tyler Perry slept in his car. He's a billionaire. Pretty sure
Yeah.
he had a like. So like.
Yeah, and wouldn't you want your child to adopt your why
Yeah.
and your cause?
Facts.
Because eventually, someday, well, we'll see how it goes, but you would imagine that your children would inherit what you've built and to continue and carry that torch on into the next generation.
I would think that would naturally happen because they're there. Like people ask, like, why do rich kids stay rich? Because they've been putting in their head their whole life. Like, think about this. Poor is a mindset. Period. Right? But they've been taught their whole life. Rich is a mindset. That's how you think. This is what you do with your money. You invest. Before you buy that Lamborghini, we're gonna throw $1 million in here first. Watch it grow. Then you go buy your Lambo. But we didn't have. I didn't have that being up when I was born and the upbringing to where I am today. I had to figure that out in life later on in life. Did you have that kind of?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to have parents who.
That's dope.
Yeah, they're pretty successful and they've taught me a lot and helped shape me and my brother. Yes.
So yes, and that's huge. But that's one of the reasons why I do these videos, so they know that people like you can exist in the world where
Yes.
they're on their passion and they're working towards their goals.
Yeah, like if I found out if a girl told me, "Hey, I'm pregnant," I wouldn't quit what I'm doing. I would just go harder.
Yeah.
Right? I would just go even harder
To build for that.
Yeah, and be like, okay, I got 9 months. There's a deadline,
Yeah.
and now, like,
I got to get this. I got to get this rolling.
Let's go. Let's
Okay.
really make this happen. And then your why becomes even better because like, hey, look, I'm about to have a child in 8 months, so I'm really trying to make this work. And how many people would like to get behind that and support that?
That's true.
Right? One of my favorite questions that I've learned from Tony Robbins is, how can I use this?
Okay.
How can I use this? How can I use this? No matter what comes at you, how can I use this?
How can I use it?
Or how can another versions of that, how can I turn trash into treasure or turn shit into sugar or that same mindset? So if I have a child, okay, so how can I now be even further along because of a child? It all has to do with your thinking.
Yep.
Right? Because some people's thought might be like, okay, what if I'm not able to provide for the child? That's a question. And then you create wherever focus
Ways to
goes,
do it.
energy flows. And then now your imagination, like you were talking about the negative goals, now your imagination is imagining all the pain that will happen if you're not able to provide for a child and what it would mean. And now your energy is going towards that. And so what's more likely to happen now that you're focused on that and you're asking those type of
Push it
questions?
harder.
Right? And especially it's hard because the brain has a negative bias because it's built for us to survive, not thrive. That's another quote, right? It's built for us to survive. So we're always looking at what's the threat, what can take us out.
Until we tune it.
Yeah, and so we have to condition and program the brain through repetition. And that's why I stopped listening to all the music that I was listening to when I was in high school. Right?
That's what they teach you.
Because it was brainwashing me. And brainwashing is not a bad thing. It's just what are you brainwashed with,
Yeah.
right? And so once I started reading a lot of books and going to conferences and opening up my mind into these new ideas and understanding the power of the subconscious mind, that's when I'm like, okay, so just like how I eat healthy, I gotta eat healthy in my ears too, because how much more important is feeding your mind than feeding your stomach?
This controls
everything.
Well, I think that's dope. Y'all take note for that.
Yes.
This controls every aspect of you. Because if this is messed up, this gonna mess up. Everything's gonna start falling apart. So that's a perfect way to end this video, man. That's perfect. Feed your mind what you want to see yourself. Like, how do you want to see yourself? You feed your mind that. Okay, so we're at the ending of this podcast today. So real quick, tell them what you're working on. What's next? What song do you want them to go play on Spotify or Apple Music?
Yeah, if this is your first time listening to me, a great song to start with would be "Know My Name," that we were talking about earlier. And a project that I'm working on because of artificial intelligence is actually going to be called 2084. It was inspired partially by the 1984 book by George Orwell about the dystopia. And so it's about in the future of how do you live your dreams in a world where your skills are no longer needed? How do you find fulfillment in that world? And so I'm putting myself in the future. It's going to be like a futuristic type of sound. And me imagining myself as a person in the future to where AI is doing everything, and my journey of finding fulfillment through that. And what do relationships look like in that world? What does work look like in that world? What does God and beliefs look like in that world? What does your social life looking like in that world?
Facts.
And so that's the concept. That's the concept of the album. So I'm really excited to create that, especially with all this hype with AI and metaverse and ChatGPT and all this stuff on people's mind. This seems like this would be a great opportunity for Live Your Dreams to adapt and to have something to say about it.
I like that. that. Okay. Well, cool. Check this man out on Instagram. What's your Instagram?
Joe Dreamz.
Joe Dreamz.
And don't forget the Z.
Hey. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming out, man. This is beautiful. This is probably one of my top runs, man. I can't complain. You came, you delivered. First time meeting. I just met this guy. Just like y'all meeting him, I just met him, and the energy is crazy. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna be back on here. We'll find out after this. All right, guys. Appreciate you coming through, bro.
All right. Live your dreams.